On September 27, 1986, I was taking part in my second 150-mile bike ride for a woman who died of kidney failure. This ride was named after her. It was a hot September morning that day, and dry weather was coming from the north. This would put our ride into a headwind. To finish the 150-mile charity ride, everyone would have to work very hard to keep up the speed and pace. The cutoff time was 12 hours. Unfortunately for me, a perfect storm came together that almost killed me. At first, there were 300 cyclists leaving from Corpus Christi early in the morning. I sprinted in front of the group and went as quickly as I could to get as close to San Antonio as possible before the wind direction changed. 45 miles into the ride, I had a flat tire on my bike and could not change it on my own. A help vehicle came up and helped me. My tire had to be changed for about 25 minutes. My ride would have to be called off if I did not do everything I could in order to catch up to the bicyclists, who were about 4 miles ahead. That is how it worked out. Then, the wind changed. In order for me to deal with the wind on my own, I did not have anyone else to protect me from it. I also had to deal with the high temperatures, which rose to about 86 degrees. It took extra work for my body to keep up with the rest of the group, but I did not want to give up. 20 miles later, when I was on the northbound side of the highway, the crew told me to stop and get out of the way. They said that I tried very hard to catch up to the group, but they had to stop me when we came to the bridge. So, I got off my bike and walked away. I was very sad because I'd been through so much over the last 65 miles. I knew I was in trouble when I saw that. My body was starting to shut down as the adrenaline was leaving my body, so I looked at my body. People thought my vital organs were going to fall apart and start to fail. There were 3 nurses on the crew, and they saw how quickly I was getting worse. They told me to ask another cyclist to help me to keep going, but it was already too late. In the middle of the night, I felt dizzy and fell to the ground. My life is over. Lord, it is in your hands now. In the whole thing, I did not get scared. I was, in fact, relieved. I was doing a lot of good for the people around me by getting involved in things like bicycle charities and other things like that. Yet, I secretly thought this was a cruel world, and I was relieved when I could finally leave it behind and get away from it. Because skeptics tried to discredit my story over the years, I had to be in the right mindset when I had the NDE. They said that I might not have wanted to live. Why did I have the hallucination thing happen? They thought I did not want to be alive anymore and was happy to leave the cruel world behind. I could confidently say I didn't. Something amazing happened on that day. My subconscious mind should have let me die, but something truly amazing happened that day. As a strange Christian, I thought I was weird. I did not understand why I thought about death in an atheist way. I thought I was going to lose consciousness and stop being alive. Nonetheless, my mind did not go back to being the same way. That is what I thought. In fact, it felt like I had a super consciousness. The same type of super consciousness I saw in deceased people who contacted me from my past experiences and observations of them. During the last stages of my life, I was lying down the same way I did when I was on Earth. I was facing up and looking at the clouds. Then, things started to get weird. I like math, but when I had my accident in 1986, I did not know anything about quantum physics. Yet, it seemed like I had a weird quantum question when I went from living to dead and back again. First, I was inside my body, and then I was outside of it. It was almost as if it did not even exist at all. But it did. A tunnel or bright light would not have been visible to me because I was temporarily blinded by my dying process. This is why I couldn't see what I was going through. I think that for normal people, this kind of experience would be scary. But for me, it was so weird that I loved every second of it. Strange and weird things were happening to me, but I was in a state of bliss as I looked at all the different things happening around me and wondered what would happen next. I was never afraid that I might blink out of existence. I was too excited to see all the amazing things that were happening around me during my whole ordeal. In a split second, I found myself on a table, or raised floor in the middle of the universe. I was in a room that looked like it was made out of glass. The room felt like an entryway to a bigger area, even though I could not see it at the time. It made me wonder if this area could be the way to heaven. When I could not see or talk, I did not worry about it, because I thought my condition would be short term. In this beautiful and peaceful place, it took me a while to get used to it. I could only see them in my mind's eye. When they came to me, my superconscious mind knew they were there. Those who cared for me gently covered me in the pure, unconditional love and concern they had for me. As these non-human animals surrounded me, I felt like I was at home, with my family, and in love. I wish everyone could feel this kind of love in its purest form. They were gentle and loving, but I couldn't talk to them. I tried to tell them that I was fine and that I was not going to freak out because, by human standards, I'm a very strange and weird person. So, I have an open mind and nothing scares me. Then, without warning, the animals that were so kind to me started to leave me and bow down. When I saw it, it caught me off guard. I thought they might be in trouble. However, as my mind looked into what was going on, I saw that as they were bowing down, they had these beautiful smiles of respect and awe on their faces. There was a great royal figure who was coming towards them. To be able to see such perfection walking towards them made me so happy for my new spiritual friends and family. When I saw that this royal figure was not there to see them, I was shocked. It came right up to my face and smiled at me with the same concern a parent would have for their child after they had an accident. Still, I couldn't see, hear, smell, or taste, but my emotions came back to me again. They just smiled and said something to the effect of, "My little one, why are you here? Not now. I have to send you back. Do not be afraid when you come back to Earth and make mistakes. Just live your life the best way you can and try to show unconditional love for the people you meet, the same way my subjects showed their unconditional love for you. You do not have to worry about whether people believe in you or not. Just believe that everyone you meet will be affected in some way by your experience. And let me do the hard job of making decisions about people if I need to." This royal figure gently picked me up and took me back to my body, which seemed like a million light years away. So much more peaceful as we came back to Earth. There were cumulus clouds above, and then I felt like I was in the air. Finally, I was in my body, and my organs began to work again. People who were working on me quickly to save my life say the first words I heard: "I cannot get his pulse. His heart is not beating. Oh wait, he's alive." A sound made it sound like she had a sigh of relief. There were a lot of tired and angry cyclists who threw my body on a trailer. There were times when I woke up and there were times when I didn't. I was shivering uncontrollably because of the cold wind. I did not want to die again because it was not my time. People on the trailer were crammed in next to me, so I tried to get a good night's sleep. Everybody told me I had to get on my bike because they thought I would be angry if I didn't. It was hard for me to compare the finish line everyone wanted me to reach to what I had already done. Wow, this is going to be a lot more difficult than I thought when I came back to this world. In the end, I went billions of light years away from my body. I do not know if it was in a tunnel or not because I was temporarily blind because of my ordeal. So I do not know. I also thought about unconditional love, family, and home all the time from very loving non-humans. I did not have any say in whether or not I could stay with them or not. It was decided that I had to go back to Earth, where I live now and where I am happy. I wish I could have stayed there. You should live your life to the best of your abilities while you're here on Earth. I hope my story was interesting, entertaining, and inspirational for you to do that.